Alright guys, we need to talk about Kid Goku going Super Saiyan 4 in Dragon Ball Daima and being a Super Saiyan 4 in Goku's child form. Now you'll notice this is not the most professionally edited video visually. There's not a lot happening on the screen, but I highly recommend that you hear me out in this video, especially what I say towards the end. I really think you'll enjoy what I'm going to say to you. Now Kid Super Saiyan 4 Goku. A Kid Super Saiyan 4, something we've never seen before outside of that of Beat and Note in Dragon Ball Heroes. I don't know the exact age of those two with Super Saiyan 4, but I'm talking about Kid Goku, who looks even smaller than that for Super Saiyan 4 to be combined with. Now, I want to make this clear. I'm not going to be revealing any spoilers in this video about Dragon Ball Daima. I'm telling you Super Saiyan 4 is going to be in Dragon Ball Daima as a god tier prediction only. As a fan of Super Saiyan 4 and Daima, that's what I believe. I've not even seen the script for Daima. I just know there are GT nods in it. I'm in the same boat as you guys, but here's why Super Saiyan 4 is in Daima and not the same Super Saiyan 4 we see in GT. Katsuyoshi Nataksuru, the creator of Super Saiyan 4, was brought on board for the project of Dragon Ball Daima. Nataksuru shared the role of main character designer with Tadayoshi Yamamura from the Majin Buu saga until the end of GT in November 1997. Damn, that's a long time ago. There are several statements about Toriyama's enjoyment of Dragon Ball GT, such as in the GT DVD box set 10 years after GT released, with his own drawing of Super Saiyan 4 Goku, whilst praising the anime staff on GT and hoping others can enjoy it with him, as well as him drawing GT Kid Goku for Nataksuru at the end of a GT party, celebrating the completion of the anime. Not to mention Toriyama loving the idea of Goku becoming small again in GT and wished he had come up with that specific idea, where now we have Daima with that concept brought back in, and with Nataksuru there, known for creating Super Saiyan 4, you would think these two guys would have a conversation about what to include in Dragon Ball Daima, right? Super Saiyan 4, in my opinion, was a center focus of one of those conversations at least, and both Toriyama and Nataksuru would know Super Saiyan 4 is a fan favorite transformation. Combining that with Goku being small again, bringing in Super Saiyan 4, there's a chance to capture some old school nostalgia and give nods to GT in places which it already has anyway. Now what does the whole GT 2.0 thing mean? From what I've seen, it's just because Goku's being turned back into a kid. Look, Dragon Ball Daima is not a remake of Dragon Ball GT, unless the core story of Daima has the same core story of GT, like the Black Star Dragon Balls in space, the Search, Baby, the Tuffle vs. Saiyan history, Consequences of the Dragon Ball, Super 17, Shadow Dragons, Goku leaving with Shenron, the theme Dan Dan, you get the picture, the whole shebang, the core story of GT that isn't Daima. But Toriyama was 100% inspired by GT, giving nods because he enjoyed GT. Some are using the GT 2.0 to describe Daima because Goku has become a kid again, but that's the furthest thing from the truth. It simply means Goku being a kid isn't GT exclusive anymore. And to think that concept of Goku being turned into a kid was one of the most controversial parts of GT. That's the thing being pulled from GT and being hyped up? That cracks me up. Out of everything else. It's not even Toriyama's GT because, again, it's not the same story, but a love letter to the GT concepts that he enjoyed whilst working on an entirely new project in the Demon Realm and that. That's the difference, like how GT was given nods to the original Dragon Ball but wasn't the original Dragon Ball, and how Dragon Ball Super gave nods to Dragon Ball Z but it wasn't a copy of Z, it did its own thing as well. There are many examples in all, but they aren't remakes. Like the Broly character, here's the difference. Super Broly is a remake of Z Broly, but he's not a replacement. The Broly movie doesn't replace movie 8 because the franchise, even to this day, the movies and characters both coexist and have completely different stories and backgrounds, and there's no one single story in Dragon Ball. There are many other examples as well. But for Super Saiyan 4 to be in Daima, that would indeed be a remake of the Super Saiyan 4 transformation, similar to the Broly character, a new take on it compared to GT's version, because let's be honest, it's been 30 years and GT isn't going anywhere. It's still being included in the franchise's latest projects, whether it was Super Dragon Ball Heroes, pretty much every modern video game and toy line. So Daima Super Saiyan 4 and GT Super Saiyan 4 will coexist in the franchise like every other remake of a character or form, like Bardock, Broly, and the list will continue to go on. That's more for me to enjoy. That's more for you to enjoy if you like those things. But something we've never seen with Super Saiyan 4, how can they make it different and unique in this version? That being on Kid Goku. That would be one twist that keeps it different from GT but still being inspired from it. And if Super Saiyan 4 is remade and brought into Daima, I'm not going to complain because I think it will be absolute fire, but somehow I believe Goku has to regain that tail of his in Daima. If Daima is centered around the 40th anniversary of the original Dragon Ball, Goku isn't complete without the Nimbus Cloud, Power Pole, and tail. The whole Sun Wukong look, and I think a Super Saiyan 4 addition to Kid Goku on that Nimbus with a Power Pole would be an insanely awesome design thanks to Nataksuru and Toriyama combining their power, and to be one step closer to that of Sun Wukong. I really hope we get that. If Super Saiyan 4 is in Daima, anything else from GT comes to Daima, Shadow Dragons, anything, there's no reason to be pissed, but quite the opposite. Trade secret, guys, it's okay to be a fan of more than one thing at the same time. Did you know people can actually like GT and Super at the same time? People like me are allowed to like Daima and GT at the same time too. I know that's crazy to picture, but the logic fries some people's brains. Ever since Battle of Gods came out and ever since I accepted the past was the past in '97, GT closed classic Dragon Ball for nearly 2 decades. Everything new since 2013 has been, yes, a phase out of the old and in with the new. It's a new generation of Dragon Ball. There's no point staying in the past when classic actually had an ending back then with all the old stuff. The thing with GT, Atsushi Meikawa said that was their ending from the drawing board. GT wasn't even cancelled like some are misinformed about. They finished their set out story with the end on the last episode. Classic Dragon Ball is done. The classic anime is over. That's why most things feel like a retcon now, because they are modernizing it. It's a new age of Dragon Ball. They will tweak things here and there. Dragon Ball Minus is a classic example of that. So how would I feel if they completely remade GT in general all through Daima? Well, let's say Daima has Shadow Dragons, Baby, and Super 17, you know, the full menu. How would I feel? Absolutely amazing, because then I'd have 2 to enjoy. The old and the new. Nothing gets erased from my personal enjoyment. I don't have a dog in a fight when being a fan of the franchise. I've grown to love it more and more. I don't even know how Daima fits into the franchise exactly, but I'm still interested in it regardless. I think as fans, it's easy to overcomplicate the staff, just having fun and making money with popular concepts that we as fans can have fun watching. I also think as fans, we can get sucked into worrying about what counts too much, when it all actually exists for us to enjoy in some shape or form. The most important thing as a Dragon Ball fan is, do you enjoy it? If you do, you automatically win. It's cool if old stuff is being reused for new stuff. I think it's a pat on the back to it if anything, and it gives more content for us to enjoy. Definitely makes sense from a marketing perspective to engage a new younger audience rather than introduce them to the 80s, 90s stuff straight up, but if the ideas work back then in any way, heck, I could see them using the old stuff. I hope they bring in as many GT concepts as they can. I just want the buzz like we had during the old days. I say the old days, but remember when Dragon Ball Super was airing every week? I still remember when Goku was using the Kaioken as Super Saiyan Blue against Hit. Those are the feelings why I love being a fan. Awesome times. So in conclusion, Dragon Ball GT is Dragon Ball GT with OG concepts. Dragon Ball Super is Dragon Ball Super with Z concepts. Dragon Ball Daima is Dragon Ball Daima with GT concepts. All one happy franchise. That's why I'm anticipating some kind of Super Saiyan 4 in Daima. And you should come back to this space if we get Kid Super Saiyan 4 Goku. Or Vegeta. This ain't all about Goku, guys. If Vegeta gets Super Saiyan 4 in this, that's the ultimate win. Yes, Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta in Dragon Ball Daima. That's what I want. Oh yeah.